Hi, I'm John Campea of the Movie Blog, and this is my quick 3-minute review of Saw 3. Up until this point, the Saw franchise has been kind of brainless, fun horror films without exactly becoming horror classics. Wasn't expecting much less or much more from Saw 3. Now, Saw 3 picks us up with Jigsaw again. Now, I know what you're saying. Jigsaw was a cancer patient, was dying of cancer ever since Saw 1 and Saw 2, and yep, he's still alive in Saw 3, only now he's on his deathbed. But he wants to stay alive just long enough to put his last test subject through the series of traps. In order to stay alive, he has a doctor kidnapped, and it's her responsibility to keep him alive. And if he dies before the final test subject goes through all their traps, then she dies too. Saw 3 is both better and a whole lot worse than the other Saw films in two different ways. It's better than the other Saw films in the sense that its basic story and idea is a little bit more sophisticated than Saws 1 and 2. Now, considering the amount of sophistication in Saws 1 and 2, that's not really saying much, but it does need to be mentioned. It was kind of an interesting idea with where they were going with it, and I applaud them for that. However, the Saw franchise has been about making you feel creepy, scaring you, and giving you a little bit of a sense of terror, and that is completely missing from Saw 3. Here's what I mean. In Saws 1 and 2, you're giving that sense of terror because you yourself are put in the situation of what would you do? Would you be willing to dive into a pit full of needles in order to find a key? Would you be willing to take a scalpel and cut out your own eye in order to find the key to release you from a certain death trap? It's these types of scenarios and situations that have given any sense of enjoyability to the first two Saw films. Unfortunately, Saw 3 completely lacks any of those types of situations. Saw 3 lacks any horror, terror, or fear. And basically what it all comes down to is that it's nothing but gore for the sake of gore. There's nothing to make you feel frightened, it's just there to make you feel gross. There's nothing where you can see yourself being put in that person's situation and ask yourself, what would you do? It's basically nothing more than sitting in an operating room and watching a live operation. That's gross, but it's not exactly scary. And without a sense of scary, Saw 3 basically has nothing left to fall back on. Is it gorier than the first two? Yes. Some of the gore effects in this, practical effects and not CGI, are wonderfully done, but once again, this is a horror flick. I'm not here just to see gore, I want to feel scared while I'm watching gore, and Saw 3 unfortunately fails in that regard. Overall, I'm going to give Saw 3 a 5 out of 10, because like I said, the story is a little bit more compelling, and it is gory, and it was kind of fun seeing everybody else in the theater feel kind of squeamish, but that's all it was just squeamish, it wasn't fear. On the scale of no going Ralph, you know what, I'm going to give this one a no, wait for it to come out on DVD. Maybe Saw 4 will fix the mistakes that Saw 3 made. For the Movie Blog, I'm John Campea.